Welcome to this week's edition of the Wheels and Deals Community Spotlight, brought to you by Wheels and Deals of Pomeroy and the Meigs Independent Press.
This is Carrie Rose, the Meigs Independent Press, and I'm here again on Wheels and Deals Community Spotlight. And this week we're talking with Devan Eckert, who is the vocational agricultural teacher at Southern High School. And this has been a pretty challenging year because not only was dealing with the way education is in COVID, this is your first year at Southern.
Yes, it is. It's my first year teaching. I'm a recent graduate of Ohio State. I graduated this spring in May, and then I was hired at Southern right before the beginning of the school year in August. So it's definitely been a challenge this year.
So what kind of things have you been, because I know that you've been blended learning, a lot of the programs that you have with FFA, those classes, welding, they're hands-on. That's kind of hard to do when you're doing distance remote learning.
Yeah, they're very hands-on. So I have most of the students in class, but I do have a couple that are distance learners, and I just accommodate with them. Thankfully, my administration lets me have them come into class after school time. So I've spent a lot of late nights at the school helping other students with their projects that they couldn't do in class because they're actually online.
So they're able to distance and do all those safeguards and
yeah,
and
they
everything.
just come in when they're by themselves, so it's just me and them, so there isn't the contact with the other students, and so it's nice, and it's better for them too because it's more hands-on and one-on-one with me.
So what has this been like so far? You've been put right into the fire this year.
Yeah, so everyone thinks it might be a little bit crazy, but it really has been a joy for me. Since it's my first year, so I've never really been exposed to a whole lot different than this. So I think after this, with the struggles and everything, teaching will be a lot easier for me because I've had to go through this in the beginning.
So I know that there's a lot of different things that the FFA does as far as activities and things, soil judging, there's all kinds of different things. So what are they able to do at this point?
So right now, all of our contests that we would normally do, like soils judging, livestock evaluation, any contest for the state is completely online. So they're online tests, which is normally something that the students are interested in versus the hands-on that they would get when they're there. I've had students compete in the job interview contest though. It was virtual, but it's a little bit more real life because a lot of job interviews right now are virtual, especially if you're interviewing for a job that might be further away from home. They'll just have you do a Zoom interview first. So that was a really good experience for them with some technology issues, but they got through it and they did really well.
So there's a lot, and I would imagine you're having to incorporate technology in everything that you're doing. So is there anything, though, that they have coming up? Is there, because I know this year they didn't even do the convention
right
the same way. I mean, state convention, national convention, everything has been completely different.
Yeah, our national convention was virtual this year, and then they just released on Tuesday that our state convention's virtual too. So they don't have a whole lot of details about that, but it'll be the end of April, beginning of May. And there will be options for the students to be involved with that virtually, and hopefully as a chapter we can get as involved as what we can from the classroom. So
I know in the past, Southern's has done very well. They've got a lot of gold ratings. They've had a lot of different things that they've been recognized for at the state. I've actually been able to be up there before to see that. So how will they do, how will they do that?
Yeah, I'm at a loss for words on how they'll do it. I don't know. It's hard to tell. They don't have any details for us right now. And I know that they have made a lot of exceptions for what they normally would for degrees and stuff like that. So it has made it a little bit easier with COVID. They've given some exceptions, but these kids that are getting gold ratings and stuff are still working really hard.
And there's a lot in that. So tell us a little bit about, for those who may not be familiar with FFA, what is FFA?
FFA is a leadership organization. It's for students in high school, and then there's also collegiate afterwards, and you can get involved in the alumni. And it really just teaches students leadership skills, communication skills, and teaches them to be good members of society. Along with that comes classroom instruction, obviously, in that they're learning things from managing greenhouses to welding skills, repairing small engines, learning about livestock. We just today we're grading beef cuts in class, and we are doing woodworking projects in Ag 1, and there's a lot that goes on in the classroom. So along with FFA, they're learning things in the classroom to make them good members of society that will be hard workers and things like that.
So it's also, and I know there's volunteerism. They do a lot of different projects throughout the year to help out with the community. Of course, the fair, they're very involved at the Meigs County Fair. And hopefully that will go on this year as planned without it being diverted. You were involved this past fair.
Yes.
With things because you knew that you were coming in to the position. So that was an interesting experience because you didn't get to really experience a real Meigs County Fair either.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting, but I was glad to be involved the ways that I could and help as much as I could.
I think that it was good they were able to at least do what they were able to do with the kids. I knew there was a lot of work. I knew that a lot of plans got put aside at the last minute, but pulled it off. So what's going on currently?
Currently, we have a strawberry sale to support our FFA chapter. It's $15 for a half a flat, which is 4 quarts, and $25 for a full flat, which is 8 quarts. All of those proceeds will go back into our students to help with trips to national and state convention, hopefully, when those start running back up. Anything that has to do with our students, really, it just pours back into them and what we do as a program. So that's what's going on right now. After that, we'll hopefully have an end of the year banquet, and that's all.
Well, I know that it's been very difficult to be able to do any kind of fundraiser. This is normally the kids do a lot of different things. Students are very busy with things. I know the Alumni Association of Ohio River Producers is involved in doing a lot of things, but this is the first fundraiser that you guys have been able to do, right?
Yes, it is. We actually had to cancel our fruit sale, which is normally our biggest fundraiser, but we are selling strawberries with the Ohio River Producers, and it's very low contact because that was some of the stipulations just make it really hard to do a fundraiser. So we have some online payment option, and we're just going with things. The kids are doing really good so far. We started 2 days ago, but just the community support would be really great.
And you can find information for that on
our Facebook page at Racine Southern FFA. You can also follow our alumni. It's Ohio River Producers. And there, you can find stuff there too. You can get a hold of me, the ag teacher, if you call the school 740-949-2611. My extension's 3314, and I'll talk to you, write your order down. You can comment on our Facebook post. As long as I reply, your order will be placed.
And I know that there are different people that are the alumni. There's other people in the community that are involved in it as well. What is the one thing that you hope kids take from your program?
Really just leadership skills. Right now, working on responsibility and getting them to show up to things on time and just really be reliable people. Those are some of the things that really aren't taught in just typical classrooms. So with their SAE projects and 4-H projects, they learn that responsibility more so than what I think typical high school students do.
How many students do you have in the program?
Right now, this first semester, I have 30, and then I'll have more incoming actually next Monday. So with a number exactly, I'm not really sure, but numbers are really far down. So I'm working on getting student involvement. But really, for how many students are in the school, I think we have a pretty good number.
And there's quite a few that are taking advantage of the distance learning. I mean, COVID has hit everything.
Yes.
It's been involved with just about everything that it impacted just about everything that's going on. But it seems like, though, from the students that I know and from the families that I know that have been involved with it, though, you're doing a pretty good job.
Thank you.
I've heard good things. So, and that's one of the reasons why you're here today. In full disclosure, I do help out with Ohio River Producers, and it's one of the things. Last year I got to help out with a couple of different judgings and things that they do, and it is a really amazing program. Talk about job readiness skills. definitely have a lot of that involved, and being able to make those phone calls and be able to have those soft skills that are necessary to go in and apply for a job, or to be able to just again have that responsibility. And that's something that we want to see our youth have. And I know that a lot of times youth have a lot of have a bad reputation for not being able to do those things, but that's where programs like FFA come into play.
Yeah. And it definitely helps too with the students that maybe don't like math and English so much. I get to see them do something that they really enjoy. So when it comes to discipline problems, those bad kids are normally really good for me, because we're really hands-on and they're, tearing apart small engines or welding something together or doing something that they really enjoy. And a lot of times they find a job in that.
And those skills are needed. We need those jobs too. Those things are just as valuable as getting a 4-year degree.
Yes.
They're just as valuable as anything, even more so as we're seeing there are gaps in the trades. A lot of openings that are going to be coming up within the next 10 years within the trades. So definitely valuable skills.
Yes. Yeah, and I think a lot of our members definitely possess all of those skills. I would recommend all of my students for a job at this point. They've really come a long way since I met them in August. So,
is there anything else you'd like to add?
I don't think so. Just support our strawberry sale. If you guys ever have any questions about our program, follow us on Facebook. We post some updates there. We have a monthly newsletter that I send out that just says some of the things that we're doing monthly. It highlights the tractor that we're restoring. That's been a year-long project so far, but we're on the home stretch with it. So.
And that's an amazing project too. That's
yes.
That's a story into itself.
Yeah, that's a whole other story.
But you think you're getting close to?
Yeah, we are finishing up, sandblasting the parts and everything, so we're almost to primer and starting to paint, and then we just have to put it back together.
And I'm sure the community is going to be excited to see that.
Yes, I'm excited to see it. My students are pumped about it. It's going to be a really good project.
All right, well, I appreciate you coming on.
Yes.
And again, if you have any questions or anything, get a hold of Ms. Eckert at the school through the Facebook page. Make sure that you get involved in that sale. I know that it's difficult right now for people to do fundraising, and it's difficult to do those kind of things. And
yes.
And the strawberries are really good. I will say that.
They are very good.
They're very good. If you missed being able to get the oranges with the fruit sale, but that just couldn't be avoided, and they're going to be able to have that with the strawberries again.
Yes.
So get a hold of Southern High School and the FFA program on being able to do that, and hopefully we'll see you again next week on another episode of Wheels and Deals Community Spotlight. We're so happy that they provide this vehicle, this opportunity for Meigs Countyans to be able to reach out and talk about other Meigs Countyans and programs that are going on right here at home. So make sure that you let them know that you appreciate them sponsoring this program. Again, this is Carrie Rose, the Meigs Independent Press, and we'll see you next week.
This week's Community Spotlight is brought to you by Wheels and Deals of Pomeroy and the Meigs Independent Press.